Hello, my name is Oliver Sieyes, and this is my submission on the circular economy and the future we need. One of our biggest problems today on Earth is the massive amounts of waste that we produce and throw out every single day. A shocking 2 billion tons of waste is produced annually, and this number is expected to increase to 3.4 billion tons by 2050. With no serious indicator of change, the world is in dire need of solutions to this global crisis. I believe that the global shift to a circular economy could revolutionize the concept of innovation, product design, and recycling and turn it into a viable business. We need a paradigm shift from a linear economy to a circular economy. Circular economy is the concept of reusing materials to make, refurbish, repair, or recycle products for as long as possible. In progressing to a circular economy, there are endless possibilities when it comes to giving products and materials new purposes where they would otherwise become waste. In my opinion, there are three pillars that form a functioning circular economy, these being the role of civil societies and institutions, businesses, and finally, governments. Civil societies and institutions are commonly addressed as the third sector of society. Organizations such as NGOs and CSOs strive to hold companies, countries, etc. accountable for their policies and wrongdoings. Civil societies such as Greenpeace challenge big state actors at conferences such as the Glasgow COP26 by using their large online following and influence to push forward the needs and the wants of the people, such as the termination of any and all new fossil fuel focused projects. Circular economy simply cannot work if there isn't global collaboration between governments, civil societies, and institutions, as well as businesses. How does this help achieve circular economies? Well, civil societies foster advocacy of the people who believe in change and magnify this to global levels. By taking the voice of many small actors and magnifying it into one big movement, NGOs such as Greenpeace arguably have more power than the governments themselves, helping the world pave the way to a more sustainable and business efficient future. Companies, instead of consistently buying new materials to manufacture their products, can save massive amounts of money by reducing the amount of materials they purchase to produce these products, while preserving our environment for our future. Companies in circular economies would be both increasing annual revenues and contributing to the cutting down of waste. Furthermore, finite resources such as clean water, for example, are slowly decreasing in supply but exponentially increasing in demand. In the US alone, the manufacturing industry needs 18 billion gallons of water per day. Due to the fact that water is price inelastic, as fresh water becomes scarcer, the demand for water will go up, and as will the price, meaning companies manufacturing products with the use of water will be losing massive amounts of revenue and profit. Businesses must combine doing business and doing good, for in this way they will come to appreciate that every time you choose doing good, it will inevitably turn out to be good for business and climate. This is essential not only to achieve a circular economy, but also in ensuring that it is sustainable and long lasting. There are several ways that governments can take initiative in shifting from economies such as the linear economy to a circular economy. Subsidizing companies and organizations that base their manufacturing and production on resources and materials that are renewable and compatible with circular economies is an effective way of persuading more companies to shift from the take, make, use, dispose model to a take, make, use, repurpose model. By creating a subsidy incentive, or the opposite, specifically taxing the buying of finite resources or environmentally toxic materials used in production, companies and governments around the globe are more likely to take the initiative of making the switch. This, in turn, would increase resource efficiency. Tradable emission permits are also an effective way of creating initiatives. They set a firm limit on the amount of CO2 that companies can produce in a year. Not only does this reduce CO2 emissions by one, making overproduction of CO2 finable, and two, persuading companies to reevaluate their usage of fossil fuels and materials high in CO2 production, but it also creates a market for tradable permits. This means that if companies produce under the CO2 emission limit, they can sell their tradable permits for whatever price they want to companies who are above the CO2 production limit, and vice versa. Aside from all the economics and technical components of a circular economy, I strongly believe the biggest opportunity we have is to elevate and take ownership of circular economy solutions right up to the company boards and elected officials, as well as world leaders. Company boards need to align business objectives with SDGs. Government and elected officials need to incentivize and legislate. And finally, world leaders need to inspire and govern. More companies need to initiate a shift from corporate social responsibility to creating shared value and identifying ways in which they can collaborate with governments and civil societies. Finally, I believe that if we can switch from an anthropocentric view to an ecocentric view, it will be much better for our economy and for our future. Thank you for listening.